Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mr. Lawrence and I'm going to be explaining the GT Online Iceberg. It shows different easter eggs, mysteries and tricks about GT Online that you may not know about. If you don't know how an iceberg works, well, there are multiple layers. We will start with well-known information, and the further we go down, the more unknown the information is. The official iceberg chart is made by Reddit user ProvenBeat. Let's get right into it. The surface. Standard cars have yellowish headlights. You can change them to blue lights in the LS Customs. You can also get colored headlights if you bring your car to the arena workshop. You can then select any color that you like. The Alien War was a big trend in the GTA community back in 2020. Players would dress up as purple and green aliens, then fight each other with melee weapons. There are two laser weapons that you can purchase. One is the laser minigun called the Widowmaker, and the second one is the Unholy Hellbringer. You could always buy them in the ammunition, but since a year or so they are only available in the gun van. So these laser weapons have become somewhat rare, cause they aren't in the gun van every week. They are the same weapons that the Republican Space Rangers use. One of the most exciting periods in GT Online every year is when snow falls down in Los Santos. The whole map will be covered in snow, driving is harder and players can pick up snowballs. This always happens in December for 1 or 2 weeks. The longest period we ever had snow was 3 weeks, from the end of December 2022 to early January 2023. The railgun is one of the most overpowered weapons in GTA 5. This gun was always only available in story mode, but in 2023 with the LSDW update they added it to GT Online. You can buy it in the gun van. The railgun in GT Online is a nerfed version, it deals twice less damage. There are a bunch of secret cars that you can find on the street in GT Online. They spawn at a specific time at a specific location, and usually you also have to drive in a specific car to spawn the secret vehicle. For example, the Red Loader, you have to drive in a muscle car. They will need to go to this location during daytime. For this one to spawn inconsistent, you even have to look in certain directions and drive slowly. I sped this part up. Then the pimped Red Loader will spawn in at this parking lot. One of the hardest cars to spawn is the gold or chrome Dubsta. The Stone Hatchet is a 1-kill melee weapon and it gives you traversability from story mode when you kill someone. This gives you way more health, but you will move slower. This was a cross promotion with RDR2. If you solve the mystery, you can unlock the Stone Hatchet in GT Online. This one is pretty vague, but you can find multiple car graves around the map. The most interesting car grave is this one with a tank. The Eltrust Camp is a very strange fortified village located in the Chilean Mountain State Wilderness. This stands for Blaine County Radio, and the podcast community hour is hosted by Ron. He talks about the apocalypse, end of the world scenarios and AI. Below the surface. This is the empty space underneath the map. This can be accessed by using a wall breach. This refers to the boundary around the map. If you pass this circle, your vehicle will get destroyed. Infinity Killer was a ruthless murderer that lived in Sandy Shores. He murdered 8 joggers, not colored joggers but actual people in 1999, and you can find clues around Sandy Shores, on this rock for example. The Epsilon program is a pretty in-depth easter egg, but in short it's a religious cult. They try to scam people, they have their own website where you can find a lot of easter eggs, and if you do a special thing in GT Online you will unlock the Kiflam or Epsilon Ropes outfit. The Contact LJT in GT Online is secretly Lester using a voice changer. There's quite some proof for this. This is the best example.
Hey, it's JT. We got trouble at work. Get over there or you'll lose product.
For a short period at the start of GT Online, if you called your mechanic and requested a car, he would actually drive it to you, instead of what happens now that your car teleports nearby. They removed this because often he acted strange. For example, running you over or driving away with your car. These are NPCs that are scripted to drive into you. They are pretty aggressive and turn into you right when you're driving past. A coincidence? I think not. There are a lot of references to the All-Seeing Eye and the Illuminati. The only nameless grave I can think of is one on the mountain near the lighthouse. Since it doesn't have any markings, we can't find out who's buried here. The Darknet has been mentioned and has appeared a few times in GT Online. Agent 14 mentions it in the U-Main heist. On PC you can send text in a lobby. This pattern is a texture that will sometimes appear if you type something in a foreign language. Bigfoot appears a lot in GTA, it's a monster that lives in the Chilean forest. If you eat a peyote plant, you will become an animal. These are always available in GTA 5 story mode and sometimes in GTA Online. A solo public session was always what every player wanted. You could only do cell missions in public sessions and there was a trick to get in a solo public session. Nowadays there's no need to do that because you can pretty much do everything in private sessions. North Yankton is a snowy area in GTA 5. You can only see it in 2 story mode missions. You all know it from the very first mission, Prologue. Although later this year North Yankton will come to GTA Online. Shallow Waters. If you own businesses or properties, you probably noticed the fees that you have to pay to maintain each property. This happens every 48 minutes IRL or 1 in-game day. However, this can be avoided by switching sessions mid-game. This will reset the timer and if you time this correctly, you don't have to ever pay these property taxes. This most likely refers to mothers dropping money on your head. After getting a service from a prostitute, you can get all your money back if you kill her. One of the most talked about buildings in GTA Online, the Mile High Club, has been under construction for the past 10 years. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's finished, but it will never happen mainly because there are already too many missions programmed inside of this building. There was some speculation about cops being racist in GTA Online. There were multiple tests showing which of the 3 story mode characters they would do something against, but I don't believe this is the case and Rockstar even stated it themselves. I'm not 100% sure what they mean with this, but sometimes you will notice that the lock-on missiles will lock on random vehicles or NPCs, so those people are the true threat, I guess. You can spin the lucky wheel inside the casino once every IRL 24 hours. 24 hours is 1440 minutes and that is 30 in-game days. So 30 in-game days seems a little bit long to spin the lucky wheel, but if they let us spin it every in-game day, it would be too easy to get rewards. There was and still is a meme about the casino valet getting killed by everyone. Rockstar added a cool Easter egg in a casino heist prep. You can enter the casino when you have a wanted level. Other buildings like your apartment or office won't allow you to go inside if you are not out of sight from the cops. Twilight Zone. One of the rarest car liveries is the Galaxy livery. Because it looks so good on cars, a lot of people know about it. This was first given to players who played GTA Online during Christmas in 2017. I have it on my Avenger for example. This is a special type of clothing item with white and black blocks, in the pattern of a checkerboard. This pattern is available for every clothing item, from pants to tops and glasses to ties. Unfortunately, they blacklisted all checkerboard clothing items in 2022, meaning that you can't wear it anymore without it disappearing. Many years ago there was a gender swap glitch. This of course allowed you to change your character's gender. So you could switch from a male to a female and vice versa, but it's not possible anymore. You can get multiple invisible body parts, like an invisible torso, invisible arms, ankles and even your whole body. Since they released GTA Online on PS4 and Xbox One, they also blacklisted most invisible body parts, so if you try to wear it, it will disappear. During Halloween at night in free mode there will be an orange and or green sky, which gives the game a more spooky look. In a lot of game modes you can even change the weather setting to Halloween to get this effect. Phasing refers to wall breaches because you phase through walls. There's a glitch so you can steal artwork and a drill at the same time during the Diamond Casino heist. I didn't even know this was a thing. Some masks will change the shape and size of your head to fit the mask. If you have really low stamina, running for too long will cause your health bar to turn red. Once that happens, you will start losing health. If you keep running and lose too much health, you will fall down. By doing a glitch, you can make your female character's blue nipples appear. This can mean multiple things. Maybe that if you find a new session that you hop from one universe to another. Or that GTA 5 and GTA Online are 2 different universes. You can clearly see that if you look at the casino. In story mode it's still the old one and this is what it looks like in online. Your GTA Online player doesn't have a voice, or do they? They never talk in GTA Online, so they are mute and this is said to you multiple times. If you use your microphone in game, you do see your character's mouth moving. There are files that are purposely misnamed or hidden by developers. This can be done to throw off data miners, for example. Twilight Zone. Some of the apartment and warehouse interiors are a lot bigger than the exteriors. This is a reference to a murder mystery. One of the clues is this strange text on this wall. It's possible to see this drowned woman underwater. UFOs and aliens are a reoccurring item in GTA Online. This is a rare phenomenon in the Chiliad forest. If you then spend too long walking around in the forest, you will hear a buzzing sound and it will start draining your health. Apparently this only happens at night. If you go to this house in Vinewood Hills and shoot it, blood will come out for some weird reason. It only happens if you shoot the window, but this doesn't work in GTA Online, at least not anymore. Maybe it used to work and that's why it was in the GTA Online Iceberg. In the desert, players can follow 4 small red arrows. It will lead you to the abandoned motel, but I couldn't find anything special here. There's a creepy house in the town of Harmony. During last year's Ghost Hunt event, a ghost would appear in this abandoned old house. I'm not 100% sure what it means, but I can try and guess what it means. Maybe they mean the north symbol on your minimap. This area on the map is called the Tangva Triangle. The name is made up by fans. In this area, over the years, many Easter eggs, mysteries and myths have taken place. Sky beasts, also known as atmospheric anomalies, have been seen by players, such as jellyfish, UFOs, different colors and black dots falling from the sky, although no real evidence for this exists. Midnight Zone. This is about players not finding the game as fun anymore. There are too many griefers or it's too much grinding to get something. Players also focused a lot on KD ratio, that's why they griefed. But now there's less griefing because of the KD ratio change and some more changes that Rockstar made. Aside from that, there's still a lot of fun stuff to do. Everyone knows how annoying phone calls can be. Call of Death refers to getting so many phone calls in GTA Online, and sometimes players can even die because of this, because they get a call in midair and they can't open their parachute, for example.
Hi there, honey.
There's a lot of bias with griefers. They have all the tools that they need to grief. The Oppressor Mark II is probably the worst vehicle or the best for griefers, but the last few years they nerfed it, which is good. Other griefing tools still exist, like the orbital cannon. Mind games can be a big part in GTA Online, especially in PvP, aka player versus player. There are a lot of dirty tricks and tactics involved in this. I don't think this one is true, because even since GTA 4 you could play as a woman. GTA Online also has as much, if sometimes not even more, clothing items for female characters. They also have unique animations and dialogue. The thing that comes to mind when I hear this is when your player bugs out on the ground and then teleports after a few seconds. There are some missions that no one ever plays anymore. Some missions are not even in the game, but they can still be accessed through playlists. This theory seems strange and unlikely. People suggest that developers put glitches in the game and then patch them to keep their job. Rock bottom. In story mode you have wildlife, but in GTA Online there are no animals, at least not on old gen. Since the December DLC there's now also wildlife in GTA Online on next gen. It's probably not on old gen because the hardware is not powerful enough. This is an interesting theory. It would explain why vehicle prices have gone up a ton and don't make sense anymore if you compare the new vehicle prices to the old ones. Omega is an NPC in GTA 5 story mode that claims to have seen aliens and was visited by them. During Halloween we had to take pictures of UFOs and send them to Omega to get rewards. This theory suggests that the world has put the most dangerous people in Los Santos, so sort of an island outside of the real world. Although this is cool to think about, I think it's a far-reached theory. ARG stands for Alternate Reality Game. It's used to amplify a player's involvement by bringing in-game items to real life. There are multiple in-game companies that have social media accounts to enhance the story. These are most likely run by fans. Baphomet is a deity usually associated with Satanism. Apparently you can see an image of it in the Alamo Sea. If you swim in circles it will appear on the water surface. This can't be done on current gen consoles because it doesn't create enough foam. I I have to disagree with this one because often we can hear Franklin and Lester in online mentioning story mode events. The moon theory seems to be about the large size of the moon and the maps that you can find in barber shops with a much higher sea level than real life. This is about the doomsday scenario heist where Evan, with Clifford around his neck and AI, flies away in his jetpack. You blow him up and when you finish the heist, Lester will call you. He tells you that Clifford is still out there. This can mean that Clifford will one day return. Apparently a female voice will read out random numbers while you're driving at night, while you're listening to Blaine County radio. This is a myth and there's no evidence of this. Lester that we see online is apparently a different version of the story mode Lester. You can see a difference, but I guess he just aged. I know that there's another layer in this iceberg chart, but most of the topics have little to no evidence or information about them. And that was the GT Online Iceberg. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.